Welcome! Today we're discussing the latest environmental regulations impacting the maritime industry. I have Frederik Moser with me. Thank you for coming, Frederik.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's January 2025 and ship owners have just completed their first year reporting under the EU ETS. Can you briefly explain the key takeaways and aspects of the EU ETS that ship owners need to follow in 2024?
In 2024, ship owners had to report all emissions, including carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide from all ships above 5,000 gross tonnage that are used for transporting passengers or cargo for commercial purposes, although methane and nitrous oxide won't be included in the EU ETS scope until 2026. The EU ETS covers 100% of emissions from voyages and port calls within the EU EEA area and 50% for voyages entering and leaving EU EEA. By September 30, 2025, ship owners must surrender the required emissions to comply with the regulations.
How do ship owners manage these EUAs?
Ship owners need to set up an account in the Union Registry to hold and transfer EUAs. The cost of an EUA is market-driven, and the time of this provided information, EUAs were at a price around 68 euros per allowance.
Let's shift to the FuelEU Maritime regulations. What are the main goals of this regulation?
The FuelEU Maritime regulation is part of the EU's Fit for 55 package and aims to decarbonize maritime transport by promoting the use of renewable and low-carbon fuels. It includes mechanisms like monitoring and reporting energy usage, mandating specific percentages of alternative fuels in a ship's fuel mix, and consider the entire supply chain from well to wake.
Regarding the well to wake approach, can you explain this?
Of course, unlike the EU ETS, which considers only tank to wake emissions, FuelEU Maritime considers the entire supply chain from well to wake. This means it evaluates the full life cycle emissions from fuels, promoting a more comprehensive approach to reduce greenhouse gases.
What are the key deadlines and requirements for ship owners under FuelEU Maritime?
Shipping companies had to submit a vessel-specific monitoring plan by August 31st, 2024 and start monitoring and recording energy usage from January 1st, 2025. Emission data must be submitted annually starting in 2026. Additionally, there are phased mandates for alternative fuels starting with 2% by 2025 and increasing to 80% by 2050. This means that ship owners need to balance what they burn in the engines to lower GHG intensity, which will affect budgeting and contracts. But by doing this, you will also get a reduction on your emission costs.
How does FuelEU Maritime impact ship owners and suppliers?
Ship owners need to balance their fuel mix to lower greenhouse gas intensity, which affect budgeting and contracts. Suppliers must offer alternative fuel solutions such as blending biofuels like HVO or FAME. These regulations impact all ships traveling in, out or within the EU, regardless of their flag. We have tools for calculating several aspects, but one of the most important things for you as a ship owner is to be aware of the penalty for not complying, as well as how much biofuel that you need. I have brought you an example today with a vessel consuming 5,000 tons of gas oil on an annual basis on intra-EU voyages. A part of that can be replaced with a B30 gas oil to meet the FuelEU Maritime 2025 targets. This could save you up to $92,000, excluding EUAs, $108,000, including EUAs, compared to continue with gas oil and taking a penalty in this case on 178,000 euros.
Can you explain the flexibility mechanisms included in FuelEU Maritime?
Certainly. FuelEU Maritime includes several flexibility mechanisms. One of them is banking, where ships can store compliance surplus for future periods. Another one is borrowing, where ships can borrow compliance surplus from future periods to offset current deficits. The third one is pooling, where verified ships under the same verifying body can combine their compliance balances to meet individual ship compliance. These mechanisms are designed to support the transition, providing flexibility and encouraging early adoption of low-carbon solutions.
What are the key takeaways for ship owners regarding these regulations?
Ship owners need to integrate the cost of EUAs and alternative fuels in their financial planning and contracts. Compliance requires careful monitoring, reporting and verification of emissions. as well as strategic purchasing of EUAs. Both EU ETS and FuelEU Maritime are part of the EU's broader strategy to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and promote the use of alternative fuels in the maritime sector. On that note, we have developed a forecast of supply and demand for biofuels. This provides valuable insights into future trends and help us plan accordingly, ensuring biofuel supplies in over 100 ports worldwide. What our number shows us is that this year, 2025, there is a fine balance in supply and demand of biofuels when we combine both aviation, road and maritime transportation. But when we come to 2030, we will always start to see a shortage. There will be a total demand of 69 million tons of biofuels and a total supply of 55 million tons of biofuels. And in 2035, it will actually become alarming. So that is exactly why we have a need for alternative fuels such as methanol, ammonia, LNG, etc., etc.
Thank you, Frederik, for this comprehensive overview. I think it's quite clear that these regulations will have a significant impact on the maritime industry.
If you have any more questions regarding EU ETS or FuelEU Maritime and want us to assist you, please reach out to our New Fuels team on newfuels@gibunkering.com and they will tailor a solution to your exact needs.